let's get going. So my last apology. Sorry for the delay. We're 2 minutes over time, and I'm a bag of mess today. So normally my daddy daycare is on Wednesdays and Saturdays. However, we've just had a last minute shift, and so today is my daddy daycare. So I've literally just legged it back from the park, along with the kids, millions of requests and demands like kids do. And so I don't actually have a topic today. So today is a Ask Me Anything session. So literally ask me anything. Crypto, business, life, anything, gaming, I don't care. So literally, if you're on Facebook, pop your questions in the chat box, same as Zoom, or for those in Zoom, feel free to unmute yourself. So what do we have? Hit me, folks. Hit me. Jamie, I can't believe more don't tune in. Yeah, I'm underappreciated. What do you have for me? Or is this going to be a quick 5-minute session?
You've taken us by surprise.
Taking you by surprise. I guess, okay. Neo, okay, right. Tom has hit us with the first question, and it is a crypto question. So Tom McGrange, Neo, why don't you think it's booming like the other alts? Neo 3.0 isn't far away. I think give it time. Give it time. I need to check on the date of Neo 3.0. I think is it in the fall of this year? I can't quite remember. But just you wait. So normally when a new mainnet comes live, you tend to have some sort of pre-hype boom rally type. As in people start piling into it because they think, oh, okay, mainnet's about to launch. But when you, sorry, there's lots of background noise here, so I'm just gonna have to mute some people. So yeah, what happens is people try and get in a bit early. So normally 2 to 3 months before a mainnet launches, we see a little rally in the price. But when you look at the fundamentals, what has actually happened? Nothing has actually happened. So when the mainnet goes live, nothing really happens other than the mainnet going live. But there's no new projects kicking off. The thing that will really push Neo or any app platforms like Zilliqa, Neo, Binance Smart Chain or Ether, etc., is the real productivity is when apps are started to be built on it. Okay, so like when Cardano comes on live, it has I forgot what the name was. I'm a bit rusty at the moment. I've got too many things I'm researching, but Cardano has an Ether crossover sort of protocol where you can take a current Ethereum project on the Ethereum, an ERC20 token, and then literally just convert it into a Cardano based thing. So when that goes live, ta-da, we're live, nothing actually happens. Real price appreciation comes when platforms start going, or not platforms, projects start going, okay, I'm going to move from Ethereum over to Cardano or over to Neo, etc. And then once they're established on the new mainnet, on the new network, and they start producing stuff, that's when you still see real value come. So that's why I'm a big fan of gas, as in the Neo gas, because that'll start moving when Neo is starting to being used. No one's using it right now. So yeah, just give it time. But having said that, mate, I'm gonna open up the price if my internet works. I've got 4 different internets in this house, and they're all bag of balls. 1 second, come on, because I am in Neo. No, I'm not in Neo. I've got gas. But if my internet hurries up, hopefully I can get a chart. But some of the other Chinese or Asian-based ones are doing well. So VeChain has done extremely well. Ontology is starting to do well. Here we go, Neo. Neo's at 62. And so I'm not sure what you mean by it hasn't done well. Like when we got into, if you look from January, it's gone from $20 up to $62. So that's pretty good growth, mate. When we look at Ontology, which is, like the brother or the sister of Neo, that's gone from 50 cents to $1.84. And then VeChain, which is not related to that project, but it's still another great sort of Asian-ish Asian-ish project. That's gone from, well, I got in at 2 cents and it's now at 13 cents. So we've got some pretty big growth. Bear in mind, folks, I think this crypto has sort of spoiled us, especially for new investors out there. Like, you have to understand that for the last several hundreds, if not thousands of years, like an average ROI per year for an average investor, or even a good investor, is 5 to 10% per year. Or if you're a really good investor, someone that will average between 10 and 20% per year. What we're experiencing with crypto at the moment is that pretty much every 2 weeks the market is like going up 20, 50%. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. So we are being sort of spoiled, but this will not last forever. As the crypto market matures, these crazy growths will also sort of diminish. I mean, I'm looking at here, I'm just looking at my watch list right now. Uniswap up 11% today. Like, it's nuts. What we've got Binance. Wow, Binance coin is just on fire. I got in at $28 on Binance coin, and it's now $572. It's just insane. But all of this is just going. It will peter down. Not in this bull cycle. I think this is probably the last bull cycle where we're going to see ridiculousness. The next bull cycle after the next halving, I think we're going to see a lot calmer rallies, but it's all going to be big, better than the stock market. So, right, that's that. Let's have a look at some of the Zoom questions. Right. Stuart, where do you see Ontology at the end of the year? I hate these questions. Come on, folks. I hate these questions. Like, I'm not Nostradamus, and no one knows what the price will be of Ontology next year or Bitcoin next year. You have to go back to the
ANC.
Sorry, I'm just going to mute everyone here. There's a lot of background noise. Mute all. Here we go. You can unmute yourself if you want to say a question. So when you're looking at prices, you have to go back to that equation that I've made endless amounts of videos on. More patience, Kryptonians. So it's market cap over price times circulating supply. So the only ways that you can sort of guesstimate a rough price, a future price, is you work out, right, what is, like, if I have a crypto, what is the current market share of this crypto for the whole market share? So I think I've used Cardano in the past off the top of my head. So currently, right now, off the top of my head, well, the last time I checked, Cardano is roughly 2% of the whole crypto market. Okay, so that's one little benchmark that you have. Okay, Cardano is 2% of the whole crypto market. And then you have to look at the circulating supply and then go, right, you have to make a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs when you're doing these calculations. So you go, right, what is the likely total crypto market cap by the end of this bull cycle? So let's say January 2022. So I don't know, 6 to 9 months time. And you go, right, it's probably a fair shout to say $10 trillion is, a pretty good stab in the dark. So you then go, okay, what is $2 trillion? 2% of $10 trillion. And so you take whatever that number is. So what is it? 10% would be $1 trillion. 2% would be 200 billion. Okay. So you then go, right. So in this case, here's where all the ifs come in. If the crypto market cap gets to $10 trillion by the end of this current bull cycle, and if Cardano stays at a 2% market share, and then so let's say it's $200 billion, you then divide that by the circulating supply. Now, off the top of my head, what is it? 38 billion? 1 second. Coin market cap. It's so hard because there's like over 9,000 cryptos. It's hard to keep your head on track on lots of them. So what is it? 32, let's call it 32 billion. So then you do 200 billion divided by 32 billion. 1 second, I'll get my calculator out. So, what was it? 200 divided by 32. $6.25. There we go. So 200 billion divided by 32 billion. Someone may need to check maths because I'm shit at maths. But that gives us a rough price of $6.25. Now, we then have to interrogate those ifs, because you then have to look at a project like Cardano and go, Cardano is a freaking awesome project. It's like it's the equivalent of like an Apple or an Amazon. It's a blue chip crypto. And so you then have to say, is it likely that Cardano is going to stay at a 2% market cap? Or is it going to appreciate? Is it going to go to, I don't know, 4% market cap of the whole crypto market share? Well, then it's like, oh, okay, if all of a sudden Cardano appreciates against the general market and it's now 4% of the whole market, you're then looking at basically $6.25 times 2. So now we're looking at $12.50 Cardano. What if it goes to something crazy like, $6% market share? Or you're going to times that by 3. So you're now looking at $18.75 Cardano. So this is how you guesstimate with a massive, big barge pile? No, it's the wrong analogy. Just guesstimate. Basically, put your thumb in the air and sort of sniff around. So when people say, where do you see the Ontology price at the end of the year? I would then have to go through that whole example again. So screw it. Let's do it. So I'm going to find Ontology. For some reason, my internet is not working on my computer now. God damn it. Okay, Ontology. ONT. Apparently, ONT doesn't exist. That's rubbish. I'm going to have to manually find it. Ontology is on page 1. I know that. Come on, where is Ontology? Right, Ontology. Maybe it's... I think it's my internet. It's not like picking up my search. God damn it. Maybe do this another way. Control F. Ont. Ha, there we go. 76. Right, so currently Ontology has a $1.5 billion market cap. It's got roughly an 809 million coin supply. Now, I'm out of touch with Ontology. It's been probably 18 months since I last properly evaluated it. So off the top of my head, I don't know what the max supply is for Ontology. Is it a billion? I'm not sure. But let's just assume that the circulating supply is going to be roughly 110 million. So right now, the whole crypto market share, cap, what is it? Oh, $2 trillion. God damn. Market is, so that's what, 2,000 billion. So what is it? 1.5 divided by 2,000 billion times 100. Okay, so what was that? So right now, Ontology is 0.075% of the whole crypto market. So let's just assume it stays at, Ontology is also a good one. So let's just say it appreciates to 0.1%, okay? So it's only a tiny little uptick. So 0.1%. So you then go to 10,000 billion times 1. So that's 1%. So 0.1. So then that gives us, so 10, so there's 100 billion. So I think, off the top of my head, with these rough numbers, if we go to a $10 trillion market cap, Ontology would then have a $10 billion market cap. And then you do 10 billion. So 10 billion, oh man, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually, another way to think of it, in fact, probably a simpler way to do this is if you go, right, currently the market cap's at $2 trillion. If it goes to $10 trillion, that's a 5x from here we are. And then you can look at the price of Ontology is 1.85 times 5. And that is probably that. So that then gives us Ontology at $9.25. Now that is like the gaseous way to do it. That is like really, really gash. But it's, again, thumb in the air and have a little sort of yardstick. But again, folks, I hate those questions. No one knows. I don't know what the price will be. All I do is I go through these little calculations and look at the anticipated market cap divided by anticipated circulating supply at the time. So yeah. This is the sort of thought processes you guys need to get going in your heads. Robbie, can you show how you have organized your trading view? Do you execute your trades on there or use exchanges? Yeah, I don't execute on TradingView. I simply use it as sort of like a little tracker type thing. I'm struggling a little with Binance. How to place a stop loss? You can't really place a stop loss on Binance. There are so many options you can do. Okay, so this is where Facebook Live is not going to see anything. Robbie, I know you're one of you're one of our traders. At 2:00 we're holding the trading pub as like we do every Monday. I'll go through it on there, okay? I'm just gonna have to push that question back to our trading pub at 2:00, mate. And then I'll log into my Binance and show you. I'll literally place a trade for you in real time on my Binance account, so you can see. But in essence, when you're just doing bog standard stuff, there's no stop loss. If you want to get out, you have to basically place a reverse order. But yeah. So Jamie, I have some friends who are suddenly talking about crypto and looking at getting into crypto. Would it be too late to get into the Kryptonian portfolio at current prices? No, it isn't too late. Definitely do the Kryptonian portfolio because it is actually probably the safest way to go about it. But what I would say is to use maybe a little less capital than you would. Like, don't mortgage your wife to then invest it into crypto. Just or whatever. I would use risk capital. The closer we get to January, the higher likelihood of a big old pullback or a cooling off of some sort. But I'm still trying to add money to my account. So yeah, I made the grave error. Oh man, I made a massive error last week. Really big error. And I've made this error probably 5 times. I'm that much of a thicko. I haven't learned from my mistakes. So with crypto accounts, or just any financial account whatsoever, you have to only upload money, you must only add money to that account from which the account is, set up with. So what I stupidly did is I tried to send a whole bunch of money from my personal bank account to a corporate crypto account. So I tried to send it to the Realistic Trader crypto account, and I sent personal money. So I've now got that amount of money locked in limbo. So it's left my account, my personal account, and Kraken have now got it, and they're like, you're trying to fund this corporate crypto account with personal money. And then all of a sudden you're flagged up for money laundering, anti-money laundering checks, CTC checks, that's counter-terrorism checks. It goes, you literally, yeah. And so what happens, or what is highly likely to happen now, is Kraken are going to sit on all my money for probably the next 4 weeks. And then they'll go, okay, yeah, once I've proven everything, and they're no doubt, they haven't asked me yet, I'm just waiting for their email. They're going to ask me for bank details, source of funds, all that bullshit. So yeah, don't make that error, and it's an error which I always make. So I guess this is another learning point. When you have too many accounts, at least just have a spreadsheet or just like a little notepad. It's always worth having a notepad, a pen and paper next to you, just to go, right, this account is that account, this, just so you can keep track of stuff. Or even better, just have a less complicated setup. So Anita said, would you still buy Binance at current prices? I fear there may not be a pullback. Yeah, man, this is a toughie. I actually want it. So I want to allocate more money to Binance, and it's annoying that, yes, it's great that it's rallying, but I want to get more in. And the reason I'm really bullish on Binance Coin is that, again, I don't care. No, most people don't care that it's not a decentralized platform. All that people care about is user experience, how fast it is, just the experience as a whole, and the fees, etc. And it's doing all of that. And not only that, you can value Binance like a normal traditional company. It's it is the fastest growing company in human history. It's making billions of dollars of profit. So you can value that as a company in the traditional sense. So it's making profit, and it has the crypto economics, the tokenomics behind it, being Binance smart chain and all that. So I'm as bullish, probably slightly more bullish on Binance than I am on Ether. And I'm super bullish on Ether. Ether hasn't even started its rally yet. It's just, we haven't had that boom. So yeah, I think I'm looking at Binance right now, it's gone vertical. So the trader in me is thinking this is going to have a pullback. I'm looking at this. What is, if you were to take a rough 50% retrace from the high it's made recently to, the local low, we're looking at sort of a retrace back down to $440 potentially. Wouldn't be a bad re-entry point. But imagine asking this. In fact, not imagine. I can just remember. I had people saying back when Ether rallied to $600, and they said, "Is it worth getting into Ether at $600?" And then I've had people saying, "Is it worth getting into Ether at $1,000, at $1,200, at $1,400?" You will always ask this question. And so back in the day, I remember when Ether first hit $600, I was like, man, this is expensive. So yeah, and now look at it. Ether's now $2,142. So, and the thing is, it all depends on the game that you're playing. Are you playing cryptos for the long run, or are you playing it just to get out in January, or like what is your goal? Like ultimately, if you're going to be in this for the long run over the next few years, get in now. Get in now. It's like umming and ahhing whether to buy Amazon back in 2002 when it started to rally a little bit. So ultimately, Binance, this is all in my opinion, obviously, Binance will be here for a long freaking time, for at least the next 5 or 6 years. Which in crypto speak, that's a long time. So yeah, if you come to the conclusion that Binance is highly likely to be around for the next 5 or 6 years, and that it may lose dominance and it may lose its pizzazz over the next 10 years. I mean, it's still probably going to be here for another probably 10 years at least. What is the price likely to do over that time? Well, in my opinion, and that's all I can give, and opinions are like arseholes, everyone has one, it's going to be here, and it's probably most likely going to appreciate. So, yeah. Yes, that's Anita's question. Adam, just a friendly reminder, Ripple is going to the moon. Is it? Let's have a look at Ripple. I have Ripple. $1.35. Nah, that's not going to the moon. When you look at Ripple compared to pretty much any other crypto over the last 4 months, it's like the slowest mover on the pack. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the chart right now. I got into Ripple in February at 40 cents or 41 cents. It's now $1.35. So it's done all right. It's 3x basically, but it's not mooning. Ripple isn't one of those things that can moon, in my opinion. Oh man, this is a big topic. I need to stop talking about Ripple. It's a shit coin. So, so Anita, please remind me why you're so keen on DOT and Link. Yeah, so Polkadot. I mean, when you look at the founders of Cardano and Polkadot, they're both they're like the founding fathers of Ethereum. You have Charles Hoskinson, and I've forgotten the founder of Polkadot, but they're both the founding fathers of Ethereum. They are like the OGs in the crypto space. And obviously Charles Hoskinson has gone away and has done his own thing with Cardano, which is an amazing product, and Polkadot is the same thing. And Chainlink is different because it's cross-platform interoperability is I think a little catchphrase, not a catchphrase, but it's a aspect of crypto which is going to take off. So one of the things that Chainlink does is it literally it stitches things together. So if you look at the real world, not the real world, the internet world, it's like Zapier. So Zapier. They call it a Zap, so I guess it's Zapier. So Zapier is a cool little software which I think most business owners know or use, where it literally you can make any software talk to each other. So all of my businesses literally have a spider web of Zaps, all talking to each other. So when I get a sale in one of the businesses, it goes through Stripe, that pings something in, a whole bunch of different Zaps. It then goes into my CRM. I get an email. It goes into a Google Sheet. Like I get all sorts of different. I get a Discord Bing Bong. There's so many different Zaps going off all over the place. And the way I look at Chainlink is Zapier for crypto. And right now we have, looking at coin market cap, there are 9. Come on, scroll up. 9,193 crypto projects. Now, a lot of them are ERC20 tokens. A lot of them are, SHA-256. There's, based on the Bitcoin blockchain. But there's so many different projects out there, and there's so many different, unique projects out there. So, like IOTA is on its own, tangle. So what we're seeing right now is like a massive sort of sprouting of, different trees, so to speak. And no one's talking to each other. Whereas Chainlink is, one little sort of connecting piece between the two. So I think cross-platform interoperability will be a big thing. And that's why I got Chainlink. And also oracles as well. It's not really an oracle, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Johnny, what's your view on... This is turning into a crypto Ask Me Anything session. Feel free to ask any business questions, folks. I know more about business than I know about crypto. So, what's your view on Coinbase IPO and also XRP recent move upwards? Okay, so Coinbase, again, it's more legitimization of the crypto space, which is great. It's also good for USDC, because USD, I like the thought of stable coins. Having a good stable coin is good, because when you're, instead of like going to fiat, etc., it's good when you're doing your little side steps. Or I do a lot of side steps, buy crypto, get out and get back in again. It's good to go to a stable coin, and Tether is a shit stable coin. It's not reliable. It's bloody, it's got Ebola. It's just not a nice stable coin. So it would be good that, when Coinbase IPOs, and they're doing like a weird cocktail of different strategies for their IPO. It's not a traditional IPO. It's just adding more legitimacy. I mean, again, this is thinking about Coinbase. It's also making me think about Binance as well. Surely, it's inevitable that Binance will eventually IPO as well. What do you think the value of Binance coin is going to do when Binance eventually IPOs? Yeah, it's going to moon even more. But yeah, Coinbase, yeah, it's good. In terms of Ripple, move upwards, yeah. I actually sold, so my traders know this, I tend to fade overextended moves. And when you look at the Ripple chart, it is a massively overextended move at the moment. So I sold all my Ripple at $1.42, and I've got a re-entry order at $1.21. So I'm just going to get out, get in again, and get slightly more crypto for my money. So that's that. Anita, I noticed at the weekend that you sold Ripple to dollar. Oh yeah. Do you usually do that rather than say Bitcoin or Binance? If so, why? Yeah, it's a really good question. So at the moment, the way I look at things is that when you're in a bull market, you need to basically... By the way, there's no correct answer here. This is just what I'm doing. So when you're in a bull market like this, I value everything in fiat, okay? Because for me personally, my goal is to extract as much profit from my portfolio around Christmas, January time. And that's when the stock to flow and the logarithmic regression model both coincide with, local highs of this current cycle. So personally, around Christmas time, probably the 1st of January, I'm probably going to exit my whole crypto position and just take a bank, 6 figures. Or hopefully 7 figures by then. So I'm looking at everything in fiat value. But when you're in a bear market, so if you go back to like 2018, it's then critical that you value your portfolio in Bitcoin. Okay, so because when fiat values are declining, everything is dropping, right? And everyone's going, oh no, everything's dropping. But you need to make sure that you're not dropping value in terms of Bitcoin when you're in a falling market. So it's essential that you then, when you're doing your side steps in a falling market, you sidestep into Bitcoin. So you, instead of looking XRP/USD, you look at XRP/Bitcoin, and you're gauging your moves by that. But at the moment, I'm interested in fiat. And now I know the Bitcoin maximalists and all the crypto purists are going to be like, oh, Siam's a charlatan. He's going to extract his crypto into fiat, at the end of the cycle. How dare he? Well, I'm a pragmatist. I look at things. I do things logically. and everyone has different circumstances. And for me, crypto is not the be all and end all, which is what I really. If you learn one thing from today, you really need to understand that crypto is not the be all and end all. This is just a lovely lottery that the average Joe all over the world can play in. And it's a way that you can really mitigate a whole bunch of bollocks, from the governments and banks and taxes. Not taxes. And it's like a little mini lottery. Now, for most people, you're not going to become a millionaire from crypto. But what this little mini lottery is going to do for most people is allow you to 2x, 3x, maybe 5x your whatever capital you put into it, which is amazing. So if you're going to put $5,000 in, you could walk away with 20 grand. Or you probably sat on, especially if you did the Kryptonian portfolio in January, and you put $5,000 into that portfolio, your portfolio sat on at least 15k, at least. And the Kryptonian portfolio is a pretty conservative portfolio that I do. And so for me, I look at this as, okay, I'm going to 3x my money or 5x my money over a relatively short period of time. But then the question I'm always asking myself every freaking day, even now, is what am I going to do with that profit? A better question is, how can I convert all of that extra capital into cash flow? Now, again, I know a whole bunch of people are going to say, oh yeah, you just put it all into Binance coin or any staking coin or DeFi and then get, the spin-offs. You can get Binance coin at 16.79% if you stake it, which I am doing, by the way. But guess what? Or not guess what? The reality with that is whenever you're staking a crypto, the returns you're getting are in Bitcoin or in whatever, if you're staking Binance, you're getting Binance coin as your reward, as the yield. And so that's all very well in a bull market up until now, but let's assume that we're going to have a cooling off in January. You don't and let's say market and fiat prices start falling, you don't really want to we're going to open a whole can of worms here. Let's just recap this and let's make it shorter. All I'm doing is I'm just going to expand my capital using cryptos until Christmas time. I'm going to take all that profit out and I'm going to dump it and literally plow all of the money into my businesses, because that is a known entity. I know that for every pound I put into my business, I can turn that pound into £2 within 3 months max, depending on which business. If it's my fairy pen pal, our little side hustle, that's growing money a lot faster than some of my other businesses, which is great and also embarrassing at the same time. That this little side hustle is converting money into more money faster than, say, my more established businesses. Like with my fairy pen pal, it's ridiculous. For every pound we put in at the top, it's turning into £3 within like a 2-month period. It's just nuts. So why wouldn't you put every spare penny you had into your businesses? So that's all I'm doing. I'm literally making profits with crypto, reallocating that into businesses and maybe some other things, whilst it cools off a bit. Try and turn that money a bit, and then I will get back into crypto. Or during the bear market, I may just consolidate everything into Binance coin or a good staker, so that so that I then start accumulating Binance coin or Cardano or whatever during the bear market, and then ready for the next bull market. So that's maybe what I'll probably do. But again, as a trader, you've got to be fluid. You must continually interrogate the data set from which you form your opinions on. Continually. Peter at Johnny, people who understand what XRP does and is following the legal stuff know that there's a good chance XRP is going up a lot long term. I'm fully aware of XRP and Ripple, by the way, folks. It's an interbank lending coin, first and foremost. It's not a global currency. That's where a lot of people get things wrong. There'll be bips along the way to give you buying opportunities. I mostly bot trade the whole crypto market to keep risk low and get 1% a day. Have a look into it. Low stress. Right? Okay, fair enough. Whatever works for you. Adam, you can mortgage the wife? I've been sweating in assets long enough. Yeah. the thank you. I do remember you saying about Kraken in the past. Lol, yeah, just don't send wrong money to the wrong place. Alexander, what type of business you are looking into now to purchase? Where do you look for them? Oh man, the whole mergers and acquisitions question, that's a long question and answer. Or it's a long answer for that question. All I would recommend is just join the WAP. The WAP, the Wealth Action Plan, so thewap.org, is either £30 a month or £300 a year, whatever picks your fancy. So, and when you work that out, 300 divided that by 365 is like 81p a day, 82p a day. So become a WAPper. It's like 82p a day. You have like hundreds of hours worth of learning there. And in the WAP, there's a module called Mergers and Acquisitions. And that will give you a very good answer to your question there, mate. There's at least 3 hours worth of videos there. And I will be adding to that Mergers and Acquisitions thing. So James has asked, hi Siam, this is more of a WAP business question. Yes, business questions. Love it. Whichever James this is, I don't see your surname, but thank you. Feel free to ignore off topic. Okay, here we go. I've got a small pie business. Simple Simon's Perfect Pies. Great business name. I love it already. And who doesn't like pie? This has been slowly dying over the past few years. We used to produce the pies in Scotland, then trade with Waitrose, Dobbies, QVC, and sell at farmers markets around the UK. Nice. But it was becoming unsustainable. Unsustainable in what way? Was it overheads that was bleeding you dry? When COVID hit, we decided to halt trading, and towards the end of last year, we moved to online only and found someone else to produce the products. So essentially, we are now an automated drop shipping pie company. That's amazing. As I was reading through your question, that was the first thing I was thinking. You need to become a drop shipping pie company of some sort. And the fact that you've done it is spot on. It started off well with sales coming from our 2,500 email database, but sales have been dropping off recently. Do you have any suggestions on where to start looking to help us get more orders? Okay, so that's one question. We've hammered the Facebook advertising, Google ads, etc., but we just aren't converting enough. Thanks very much. That's a great question. What's your URL? Or is it Simple Simon's Perfect Pies? I'm going to have to Google that. Stand by. Simple Simon's Perfect Pies. No? Here we go. simplesimonspies.co.uk. Your URL looks like simplesimonsspies.co.uk. It's like a business. Yeah, your business is either a pie company or Simple Simon has a whole bunch of spies. Can you order a spy? That would be pretty cool. Yeah, private detector. That's pretty much what a spy is. A residential spy, not a commercial spy. Sorry, what am I going on about? Unfortunately, my internet won't allow me to open your website, which is a shame. I've only got so much bandwidth holding a Facebook Live and a Zoom, and evidently it doesn't let me open up your website. I've got some pictures here. Oh, your pies look great. simplesimonsspies.co.uk. Lovely looking pies. So, my answer to your question is... Okay, so you said we've hammered Facebook advertising, Google ads, etc., but we're just not converting enough. Now, there's a phrase, banana-rama. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. My first instinct here is that, yes, you've been doing Facebook ads, but I don't think you've been doing them as well as you probably could do. Because if that was my business, Facebook ads is where... Facebook ads and Insta is where I would be at right now. And I would be hammering the shit out of those ads. But it's how you package it up. Remember, you can have the world's best product with the world's worst Facebook marketing and you do amazing. But on the flip side, you can have the world's best Facebook marketing and the world's worst offer or world's worst product and you'll do dreadfully. It's all about how you package up the offer. So, yes, if you're going to... do a Facebook ad and look at this en croûte from $5.99 for 2, the instant questions that people get is, well, if I order it online, Like, how's it going to arrive? Is it going to be frozen? Do I have to freeze it? Like, a lot of your adverts, you'll need to do a bit of educating. So I wouldn't go straight into buy my pies. I would do a bit of a warming up campaign. So I would do probably, you could have a video a week for, let's say, 3 weeks. And each video will be 30 seconds to 60 seconds long. And it will be like, hey, I'm Simon. I'm simple. And I got pies. Look at my pies. You could be in bed with all your pies. And you just talk about, you know, the process, how you make the pies. You make it with love. You don't make love to the pies. You make it with love, obviously. So basically, so people start getting to know it, and then so you just go through your whole process. You know, these are the pies. They come in this sort of box. You put them in the freezer or whatever, and then on the 4th week, so you run each video for a week, and you can track. You can pixel everything. So you know, if someone's watched 25% of video 1, they get to see the next video, etc. And then on the 4th week, you then do an actual sales ad, and it's like, hey, get the pies for blah blah blah. You know, and I think the best example to maybe copy or swipe and deploy is allplants.co.uk. So is it allplants.co.uk? No, or is it allplants.com? Stand by. Allplants.com. Check that out. So I am someone that has a 2-tone diet. My diet is basically potatoes and chocolate. And the potatoes are normally in the form of chips or crisps. And the chocolate is in the form of Easter eggs. Probably an Easter egg a day, actually. This was my Easter egg from last night. I absolutely just smashed that beast. So what I did, I did a little Google on vegan or vegetarian meals, and I somehow came across this thing, and then guess what? It smashed me with Facebook ads, and the Facebook ads are good. So all plants, yeah. So as it says on the website, nutritious, delicious, delivered. It's all. Is it vegan? Trying to vegan, or it's either vegan or vegetarian. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm a subscriber, so I pay. I think it's like £90 every 2 weeks. And what happens is, and the way they've done this is just amazing. I would do it. I would sign up for a week, you know, just to see what you get. And you get this big old box. It's delivered by DPD. It's got loads of dry ice in it, and it says that it can sit outside until 10 p.m. They normally deliver it at like midday. So it says, yeah, it can sit outside for like 10 hours. And it has a whole bunch of main meals, and you've got some desserts and breakfasts and all that sort of stuff. And the really handy thing, and the question which satisfied me, the one that I needed satisfying, is how easy is it going to be? Is it going to be one of those like bullshit, like here's a ready meal, but then I've got to spend 10 hours preparing it? But the good thing here is that it's either not all of them, but some of them are microwavable, but actually no, they're both. Every meal is either microwavable or ovenable, and it says on each one, you know, best results microwave, best results oven. And so when it's a microwave one, it's like a 15-minute jobby, microwave 15 minutes, boom, and you're eating. And then the oven ones are 20 odd minutes. I think the protein bolognese ones are like a 40-minute oven jobby. But all I do is what I want, oven done, and I'm eating, and it's yummy. Well, as yummy as, you know, vegetarian, vegan food can be. I don't know about you. I've been a vegetarian for about 2 years now, and I still crave pork, sausages, and bacon. I crave them still, but I haven't eaten beef for about 2-3 years. But yeah, I still find vegan food very bland. But all plants is as good as it gets for vegan, vegetarian food. I love it personally. My wife still says it's a bit bland, but so I would check out them, go to their Facebook page, check out their adverts, and see what they're doing. Simon, do you know how to check out a competitor's Facebook ads? Yes or no? I'm just scrolling down. Okay, I'm going to quickly... Oh, no, this is hard. Okay, no, we'll have to do it another time. But basically, you go to their Facebook page, you scroll down to page insights. Oh, no, page transparency. It's like down at the bottom left. And then it will show, go to ad library. And it will basically show you every advert that a company is doing. Every Facebook advert. And so, yeah, you can mimic. But what you should mimic with your pie business is how they've conveyed their message. So really, it needs to be simple. I need to know that I can just pop it in the oven and it'll be done. And I'm filling my face with pie within half an hour or something. It's not the answer that you probably wanted, but I would persevere with Facebook. Like 99% of the time, people go, "Oh, Facebook doesn't work. I tried it. I wasted $2,000 on Facebook ads. It doesn't work." But I promise you, it does. You just need to refine your. I hate using the word funnel, but you have to refine your funnel a bit better, and you've got to package up your offer better. Annoyingly, I can't see your website properly. It's not loading. I don't know what's going on my internet today. Quick one, a very quick one. From what I've seen so far, it's a black website with white writing. That is like a website sin. Don't do it, mate. I would go to a light colour. There's been all sorts of scientific studies where when someone reads white writing on a black background for a period of time, it actually does eye damage. So it's not good. So yeah, I would go to a clean, as in white website. Just look at all plants. It's white, basically. And food, especially for food, it stands out better with a white background than black. So that's one thing. And also, I don't know where you're driving your adverts to. So if you're driving them to your homepage, yeah, of course it's not going to work. Pretty much nothing works if you drive traffic to your homepage. You have to drive traffic to a dedicated landing page with one call to action. Whereas if you're driving to your homepage, there's a million things I could do. I could click on your shop, your about. You've got some social media links here. I'll click on your, Facebook thing, and then before you know it, I've forgotten all about Simple Simon's Pies, and I'm now, scrolling down my Facebook feed. So, like, when you're driving traffic, you've got to be very careful. Again, in the WAP, there's a whole section on this. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me on Zoom. Facebook seems to is lost connection.
Yeah, I can hear you, Sam.
Oh, cheers, Mike.
Okay.
I'm just going to have to pause for a second. Okay, Facebook Live, hopefully you're back. I had an internet issue. It said trying to reconnect. Yeah. I would like to talk more about that, but yeah, we'll get back to it another time. So, Jamie, funny crypto post. Someone sent me this the other day. Just puts relative prices in perspective. Okay, I can't click it. Nothing's loading up at the moment. Alexander, would you convert all the crypto at the end of the bull cycle to USDT? No, I wouldn't. I don't like touching USDT unless I'm in it for not long. I'm literally going to fiat and then putting it into my freaking bank accounts, and then I'm I'm going to use that money for my businesses. That's what I'm doing. Johnny, I mined 9 Bitcoin with KNC miners in 2015 and sold all of them in 2017, thinking at the time I had 5x profits, so got out. I'm now in therapy. Gutted, but must move on. However, it's an experience, and those who have known it would be where it would be today should have hodled. C'est la vie. Yeah. As I said, if you're in this for the long term, then you're going to be doing different things. And I am in this for the long term. But I'm always doing seesaws. And I think during the cooling off period from January onwards, I can then work my money a lot faster than crypto will whilst it's in a cooling off period. And then once I see the market starting to get back in shape, I'll then go back in it again. That's why I've been largely out of the market since 2018 and then started dipping my toes in back in 2020, mid-2020. And then I put the bulk of my money back in January this year. And yeah, because remember, it's all about ROTE as well. Everyone's obsessed about ROI, but completely blissfully unaware of ROTE, return on time invested. And that's the thing. Yeah. And so when you look at the ROTE for the Kryptonian portfolio from the 12th of January onwards, it's amazing. So, Robbie, Siam, you're nuts. Crypto is everything. Lol. Alexander, thanks for buying Easter eggs. Guessing you might buy them from Amazon. No, just Tesco Express. It's the only place I go to these days. Just down the road. I literally the other day I had a little trolley, and I literally just cleared the whole shelf, and I had like 15 Easter eggs in my basket thingy, and the person looked at me weirdly when I went for a checkout. Anyway, yeah. So I thought, who would buy them now after the season is over? It's you. Yeah, I wish they sold Easter eggs all year round. It's the best form of chocolate. It's nice and thin and crunchy, or not crunchy, but yeah. James, cool. I'm still going through the questions, by the way, and I'll look at the Facebook questions in a second. I'm just going to prioritise on the Zoom ones. Adam Kerrigan, what causes eye damage? White writing on black background, yeah, for sustained periods of time. Last time I checked. It might cause eye strain, but it definitely won't cause actual damage. Okay. I don't remember which article or thing I read, but they said if you consistently read white writing over on black background for long periods of time over a period of time, it definitely causes eye strain and then eventually eye damage, apparently. But I'm not an eye doctor, so yeah. Jamie, that makes complete sense. Put your money where you can generate the best return at a good time. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's go on to the Facebook questions. Where are the Facebook questions? Lewis Newman, do you ever use volume profile and order flow? Sometimes. Not really. The problem. So one of the holy grails of trading is the perfect volume indicator, but it doesn't exist. Not for us mere mortals. And what I mean by the perfect volume indicator is an indicator that shows you real-time volume across the whole market, across all portals into that market. Now, the reason it's the holy grail is because whatever volume indicator you're looking at, or you think you're looking at, you're not getting the whole picture. So you may be looking at the volume for that particular exchange, or you may be paying a little money for volume across a whole bunch of different feeds, but you're not seeing the full picture. You're not seeing all the volume in dark pools, which only the banks can see. You're not seeing all the volume from OTC, over the counter. You're not seeing all the volume across private transactions, and you're not seeing volume, and you won't see all the volume from all of the crypto exchanges. So there's so many different portals into a market. You just cannot get that volume. And so this is why I don't typically trade on volume, because you're seeing flawed or very myopic data. And therefore, if you're basing decisions and trades on half the picture, so to speak, then you're going to make errors sometimes. So that's why I don't use volume. And also with volume, you then got to know which direction it's going in. But then this is why sometimes you have volume indicators where it goes, whoa, it's volume, but you don't know which way it's going. So if you had a volume indicator, you need to see directional volume as well. So the amount of buy orders versus amount of sell orders. And obviously if there's more sell orders than buy orders, the price is going to go down. But as I said, you can only do that if you have good overall volume data, which we don't have. This is what the banks have, not us. This is why the banks win and we lose. So Moran, a long time ago you mentioned on a video how to increase your profits by 100%. You don't need to increase your turnover by 1000%. You're able to increase your overheads. If you're able to increase your overheads by 12%, this should do the same. Is that correct? I'm not sure of your question, but I think I understand your sentiment. In business, there are things that you can do where if you reduce your outgoings by a tiny bit, you can then increase your bottom line by 100% or more. So put it this way: I'm just going to try and pluck up an example. Let's say your business is making I'm going to get my pen and paper for this. I'm just trying to work this out. So if your business is making, let's say, £2,000 per month, you've got £1,000 outgoings, therefore you're making £1,000 profit. Okay, ballpark. Pretty easy numbers so far. Now, if you were to no, let's do this again. Sorry, I'm gonna have to make. Sorry, I'm not good with numbers, so I'm very slow when I'm doing my maths, which is why I need pen and paper. And unfortunately, this is going to take me 5 minutes to get my head around it. But I remember doing examples back in the day of where you would reduce your outgoings by 11%, and then your bottom line increases. You know, you make like 50% more profit. But I just need to play around with the numbers. I think I'll do this probably tomorrow, maybe, if I can remember. But yeah, I think there is. In fact, 1 second before we go any further. I'm just checking my YouTube. Siam Kid double profit. I must have made a video on this. Here we go. 4 years ago I made this video.
Hey, Siam here, and
standing in front of a lot of alcohol. Copy. Right, I'm putting this in the Zoom chat. And on Facebook, if you go to for those on Facebook, if you go to YouTube and type Siam Kid double profit, and you'll find the video. It says how to double your profit overnight. And here I talk about, I've got the whiteboard. Yeah, and you'll see me playing around with numbers. Right, so that's that. Chris Hutchinson, hey mate. I know your stance on property being slow moving yield and growth, but what are your thoughts on acquiring mortgage debt against inflation? It's a smart move if you know how to grow it, especially with all this money printing and rates being low. Yes, I think if you are a sophisticated investor or someone who is savvy, then you can make a nice arbitrage there by basically I don't want to go into this, but basically this is what I do in other respects. I will always take on loans, always. Because I know that if I take a loan and pay out 10% a year, I know, like for a fact, I will grow that money more than 10% per year. So it's a simple arbitrage for me. And when you get more used to money, you will no longer be scared of things like loans. You won't be scared of all sorts of other things. If you look at the richest people on the planet, they've got so much debt up the yin yang, it's ridiculous. If you look at how much debt Tesla has, how much debt Elon probably has, it's absolutely insane. And so one of the things I realized back in the day when I was sort of really trying to understand wealth in general from a first principle point of view is that if every billionaire and millionaire on the planet has basically gone so far up, in debt, and they're really leveraging up on debt, you then have to ask yourself, well, why are they getting loads of debt? And the obvious answer eventually, when you whittle it down, is that they know that they will be working their money more than the APR or the APY that they'll be paying. So if you're a property investor and you can, get some mortgage debt going, and you know that inflation is basically eroding away or eventually will erode away your mortgage, but if you can get that mortgage debt and then you can work it even faster than your debt servicing costs, go for it. But for a lot of people, it's not a good move. I would do that in an instant if I had a whole bunch of property, but I don't. And that's the other thing I am missing out on property. With properties, it's like you're in a little mini bank account because it's some of the cheapest form of lending out there. I know a lot of people gasp at the thought of remortgaging their house, etc. But yeah, and it's a silly thing to do if you don't know how to work your money. But if you know how to work your money and you can remortgage your house and you're basically going to be paying 1-2% or less, then it's like, wow, it's like free money. You've got to be absolutely spectacularly rubbish at investing if you can't grow your money more than 3% a year. Or hell, 5%. So, yeah. And if you can't, then you need the WAP. This is literally the sole existence of the Wealth Action Plan to help with stuff like this. Thomas Gotts, hey Thomas, my friend is all over Tron. Thoughts? Also, which coin do you think is best for a punt? Oh, I hate those questions. I really do. My punt at the moment is gas. That's all I'm going to say. Gas, as in Neo Gas. Tron, I just don't like Justin Sun. He's too much of a, I'm not going to say scammer, but he's a hyper. Thomas, quick question. Learning more about how macro fundamentals and how it works against the average Joe? Yes, it does. One can get very cynical about the way the world is and how corrupt it can be. The general public have no clue of how corrupt the world really is. If you really knew how corrupt the world is, most people will have like mental health issues. They'll be on antidepressants. I mean, hell, the last time I checked, this was probably a few years ago, 25% of all adults in America were on antidepressants. And that was before COVID and lockdowns and all of the bullshit that's happening right now. 25% of adult Americans were on antidepressants. And that was like, I think 2019 when I last checked that stat. God knows what it is right now. And so, yeah, Thomas, the more you learn about the macro world and how the world really works, you'll see that your perspective does change a lot. And you'll realize that the world is not this peachy, happy place where the governments are there to protect you and they always have your safe interests at heart. It's complete opposite, unfortunately. And we live in a world of crony capitalism, extreme extortion and bribery. Bribery? It's like Blackberry. I'm going to call it bribery from now on. Make it sound prettier. Bribery. There's so much corruption, and lots of it is out of the square mile in London. And yeah, it's just I won't go into it, but it seems like you're going down the same rabbit hole I went down about 10 years ago, mate, and it's horrendous what is really going on behind the scenes. And yeah, how do you think you'll teach your children or young people how the financial system is run with a positive twist? So that is the end of your question. So that is an absolutely cracking question, and it's something which my wife and I, Ellie, speak about a lot. Is like, how are we supposed to raise our two lovely, gorgeous, happy children and teach them, one, not to be a sheep, how to have actual critical thinking. I mean, a lot of schools these days teach critical thinking, yet the students that exit these schools have zero critical thinking. It's ridiculous. It's, oh yeah, I've done GCSEs critical thinking or A-levels critical thinking, and then you sort of interrogate them a little bit. And I do in interviews when I'm employing people. I'm like, show me an example the last time you applied critical thinking. Bit of a hard question, I know, for a simple interview, but I want to know this shit. And most of the time, like nearly everyone I interview, like 90% of the people I interview have zero critical thinking, or they can't even demonstrate the last time they did, they thought for themselves properly. It's hard. I don't have the answers, mate. I really don't. Parenting is tough. It's really tough. Ellie sent me a meme the other day, which was something like, parenting is like full of bribery, bribing, threatening everything they hold dear to the, so they can get in the bath or something like, it's just full of like threats. Parenting, because when they're toddlers, they're just little shits that don't listen to you. Lovely little shits. But yeah, it's a really good. I'm gonna have to spend more thought on this because teaching them how the world really works from a macroeconomics point of view will scare them silly. And if you're not aware of what's going on in the world, then the first little tip of the iceberg is to read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman, the revised edition. It's going to blow your mind. And then go and read the book The Creature from Jekyll Island by Eckel something. I can't remember his name. Jeff Eckel? I can't remember. But yeah. I'm going to have to move on for that. I don't have a good answer. How am I going to teach young people the financial system with a positive twist? I don't know. I think I'll just keep bringing it back to all the tech progressions and how life is amazing and tech is going to change everything for the better. Well, for most of the part. Janie, tax question for crypto. What should we be looking to do? Set up a company. I would Google for tax accountants. Everything has changed recently. I think 2018 when I last looked at this, it was better to have it as a person. in your person. But then recent research I've seen that it's better to have it in a company, because then you're only paying 19% corporation tax. It depends on your tax brackets. Like for me, CGT for me is 20% for my personal, CGT. But if I had it through business, all the profits you make from crypto are then treated as revenue, and therefore, if you have a group of businesses, and let's say you have a failing business, you can then offset profits against other businesses. So for me personally, it's better to have it through my businesses. And even if you have one business, you're only paying 19% corporation tax, and you can offset a lot of profits by reinvesting into marketing or buying a building or buying another business, and that wipes off profits. And so you can effectively orchestrate your profits, your crypto profits, so you don't pay tax legally by being a bit of simple financial engineering. But this is what you should just pay 500 quid for the UK's best crypto tax expert, and they'll be worth their weight in Doge. Tom, why are you still depositing to Kraken when Binance now supports direct GBP deposits using faster payments with no cost that I can see? Yeah, they have a limit, don't they? The last time I did it, they had a very low limit. I couldn't send more than a certain amount to Binance. And plus, I prefer Kraken. It's safer. Jason, why can't you buy Binance or Ripple on Coinbase, please? I don't know. Oh, probably not Binance, because Binance and Coinbase are competitors, so I think it's highly unlikely you'll see Binance on Coinbase. Ripple, don't know, because it's a shit coin. I don't know. I'm going to have to roll this up here, because it's, 10 past 1. Nick King, I learned early that I don't have the emotional wherewithal to trade. I did find a way with bots, though. Do you use bots at all, mate? Yeah. 99% of my currency trading is done with my bot, literally. It sends me a little telegram saying, "Hey, I found a setup," and I simply press yes or no. Or even some of the bots I have on full autopilot where it just trades for me. So yeah, but manual trading and bot trading are two different things. The analogy I use is manually trading is like being a footballer on the football pitch, whereas bot trading is being the football manager on the side of the pitch, managing your prima donna footballers. Fame has asked, what was the name of the Binance app that I don't know. I can't remember that balancing app. I personally don't use balances. And connection, I've lost Facebook. Let's look at the Zoom questions whilst we're waiting. Come on, Facebook, reconnect. Sorry, I'm just waiting for Facebook to reconnect. Hey, Facebook, hopefully you're still here. Sorry, I lost signal. So some of the I'm just going to have to round this up over the next 5 minutes because this could go on. Mike Freeman, would you ever consider having only online businesses and living somewhere other than the UK? You know what? It's a really interesting thought because a lot of my business friends are moving to Dubai at the moment, and other nations, simply because there is a good saying which I actually do like, is that you should move to places that treat you well. It makes sense, doesn't it? You should live in a country that treats you well. So if you're a business owner in the UK is treating you like dog shit right now. Whereas if you're a business owner in Malta or Dubai or Abu Dhabi, they're treating you really pretty freaking well. Not only tax-wise, but they're not doing these. Yeah, there's all sorts of things. So that phrase has stayed in my head. Move to places that treat you well. So yeah, it is on my thought. Everything for me is still UK based. But yeah, it is something I am pondering on. Stuart, thanks for the session. I'm very concerned about your chocolate consumption. Yeah, I know. I've been eating like this since I was about 18. I'm like a fat, skinny person. Right. Nicholas, at Simple Simon's Pie, check out TikTok product packing videos for inspiration. Cool. Fame, don't microwave your food. Yeah, I'm aware. I've read some really concerning stuff about microwaves. It's really annoying. Everything you read these days is like killing the world, or like everything in your life is like killing the planet, or is really bad for you. Like sometimes, like I'm not a fan of being blissfully ignorant, because I think it's just mental laziness. And I think it is what, part of life is trying to discover and learn as much about life as possible. And so you do need to look at the bad and be aware of stuff. But like everything is either bad for you or is bad for the world. Like, I watched Seaspiracy the other day, and that was shocking. I know there's lots of counters to Seaspiracy, and I've read the other side of the coin. I've read all sorts of articles about fishermen saying it's all a load of bollocks and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of facts in Seaspiracy, and it's like shit. So, like, you can't trust, the safe fishing, dolphin-free fish or whatever. So, yes, it sucks. So yeah, we, as a family, we've stopped buying fish now. From the supermarkets or anything, anything like that. I'm not going to stop eating. Well, I am going to stop eating fish unless we buy it from somewhere where we know it's been sourced without a side of turtle death or dolphin death, from bycatch or whatever. So I'm sure, like, if you go to a lake in Scotland and you go and fish out your own fish, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, I looked into the salmon fish farms in Scotland, and it's horrendous. It really is. But yeah, I'm just praying that chocolate isn't killing the planet and that potatoes aren't killing the planet. So please, I'm just hoping, before I know it, there's going to be a Netflix documentary of how the cocoa bean is killing South America, and that corporates and Nestle are getting little children to climb up big trees. I don't know. There's going to be something that puts me off chocolate and that. And I'm hoping that potatoes, come on, crisps. I know it's greasy and fat, but I can eat. Just don't take potatoes away from me, world. If a Netflix documentary comes out about potatoes or chocolate, I may have to just bury my head in the sand and not watch it. Fame. As a Pakistani, I laugh every time I hear roti, aka a chapati. Oh. Oh, is it roti or roti? Oh yeah. Yeah. Cool. Wylan Kong, would you do a video about corruption on YouTube or on a WAP course? I want to know more. Oh, it's depressing. I don't know. Maybe. I just end up with a whole bunch of haters every time I start talking about the truth. Chris, that's crazy. I started talking about the truth, and my tinfoil hat flew off the shelf there. Chris Day, second question: would you consider mentoring for a startup business, non-crypto? I do consulting and mentoring, but the problem is I have, like, at any point in time 10 or 20 people asking to pick my brains and stuff. So I have to charge for it now. So what I do is I charge £500 for a 90-minute Zoom session. And I've tried all the different timings, but it takes about half an hour to really understand and get your head under the bonnet of a business. So yeah, 90-minute sessions for £500 plus VAT. That's what I do. And if it's too expensive to some people, great. If it's not expensive, great. Like, yeah, it's not for everyone. Fame. I'm only eating fish caught by fishing rod. Lol. Yeah, not by mass nets. Mushrooms will save the world, Nicholas. Yeah, they will. Honestly, for those that aren't aware of Paul Stamets and his work, just Google Paul Stamets TED Talk, and then that'll be your first rabbit hole. Paul Stamets, mushrooms will literally save the world. The world is just a massive mycelial network. It's insane. The world's first internet is a mycelial network. Literally. When you look at the structure of the internet and nodes and how the internet works and how data packets move from place to base, it is a mycelial network. But the world, Mother Earth has had Earth internet for millions of years now, and it's exactly the same. And it's just freaky coincidence how the internet as we know it is almost identical in structure to the mycelial networks below us. Yeah, it's just insane. Mushrooms, absolutely insane. And then there's all sorts of mushroom things that you can do that can save the whole bee species. Like, a lot of bees are being killed by these tiny little mites. Like, if you look at a big old fat bumblebee these days, you'll probably see them on the floor dying. They're smothered in these little ticks, or not ticks, they're these like mites. They're just killing them. And what you can do is you can make beehives around, like, I forgot, Paul Stamets made a whole TED talk on this, how he has this type of mushroom, and it basically just kills all the mites, and you have these bees which are mite free, and it can extend the life of a bee by an extra sort of like extra 50%. That's it. Mike Friedman, Varroa mites wiped out 5 of my hives this year. They're freaking nuts. Check out Paul Stamets. He knows how to get rid of that mite problem. So yeah. Anyway, going off on one now. I think we've been talking long enough. An hour and 20 minutes. I've now got to go and get some breakfast because I've got another 2-hour trading pub session starting at 2. So yeah, thanks for everyone today, for whoever's here. Hope today's helped. Another session where we've gone freaking everywhere. But yeah. Thanks everyone. I'll see you soon. Toodles.
Bye.